Okay, Mira, we got it. So I am so privileged to introduce you to our own Mira Ranand. Okay, thanks, Mira. I'm going off.
Thank you, Naomi. Okay, ladies, Chodesh Tov. So I wanted to bring down from Sefer Yetzirah some of the letter of the month, the part of the body that will help us for our avoda for this month. Sefer Yetzirah is an ancient text. Some people say that Adam Arishon wrote it or Avraham Avinu wrote it. There's different opinions. But according to Sefer Yetzirah, the letter of the month is the letter Samech. And what the chush that we're working on is Shena, is sleep. The tribe is Binyamin. And the part of the body is the stomach. So I wanted to actually just speak about two of these things, which are the letter Samech and also about sleep. So we know that the first time that a letter or a word is mentioned in the Torah, that is the headquarters or the shoresh of that letter or of that word. So it's very interesting that both the letter Samech and sleep are both in the same parsha and in the same chapter. Can anyone guess when first sleep is mentioned in the Torah? Can anyone take a guess?
Hashem put Adam to sleep.
Adam.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, Adam. Yeah.
Exactly. When Adam was put to sleep, so that Eve could be formed. So, but before Adam, the first time that the letter Samech is mentioned. So in chapter 2 of Bereshit, that Hashem planted a garden in Eden from the east, and he placed there the man who he had formed. And then Hashem causes the trees to sprout, and we have the tree of life in the middle of the garden and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay. And then the next pasuk, 10, it says, a river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it separated into 4 heads. The name of the first one is Pishon. That is the one that encompasses all the land of Havilah, where there is gold. And in this pasuk is the first mention of the letter Samech, because the first one is called Pishon, Hu hasovev et kol haaretz havilah asher sham hasahav. So the first time that the letter Samech is mentioned, it is in the word hasovev. It's an encircling light, and that is really what is the letter of the month. Is the letter Samech, is the Or Hamakif. But let's go back to our pasuk. So there's many opinions. What is this Eretz Havilah that's surrounded by this Samech of light? And so the Pri Tzaddik says it's Eretz Yisrael, and the gold that is within it, he says, is the gold of Torah. So it's an interesting perush to think that the first mention of the Samech is a Samech that encircles Eretz Yisrael, and the gold that's within it is the gold of the Torah. Okay, so another perush I saw was that, and then it says the gold of the land is good, and it says Bedolach is there, and the Shoham stone. So Rashi says it's full of crystals and precious gems. But there's a perush that says that the gold is free of all impurities. And so this is a month where the Pri Tzaddik says that this is the month where Somech Hashem kolinoflim. Somech Hashem supports all those who are supported, all those who fall into this encompassing light that is always around us. And so he says that in this month, it's actually very interesting. There's a whole Torah where he puts the avot in different directions around this big samach of light. Abraham and Yitzchak are in the east, and Yaakov and Yosef are in the west. And so in a certain sense, it's in a way of being again in this sukkah, in the sukkah of peace, being surrounded by the avot. So this month, and this letter Samech, I just want to read it. The Samech means support, and right, and the experience of feeling supported corresponds to the trust and confidence in Hashem, which is in the name Kislev. In Hebrew, Kesel means trust, means trust or security. And so it comes from the pasuk in Eov, which says, if I have made gold my hope, or you have said that the fine gold, you're my confidence. So that Kesel is a word for confidence or for hope. And then also in Mishlei, it says, for Hashem will be your confidence, your kislecha, your trust and your hope. So, and how does this connect to sleep? Okay, let's look at sleep, and then we're going to put the samach together with the sleep. So, right, so the first time sleep is mentioned is in the pasuk, 1 minute, where it says, it's not good for man to be alone. And then it says in pasuk 21, and Hashem caused a deep sleep, a tardema, to fall upon man, and he slept. So there's two things. There's a tardema, and there's the sleep. And then it says, and Hashem took one of his sides, and he closed the flesh in his place. So I saw such an interesting perush. This is from the Abarbanel. Why does it say that this tardema, this deep sleep, fell upon man? And then he said, and he slept. And the Abarbanel said that he slept so that he would awaken and benefit from the sudden joy of awakening to discover this treasure that Hashem had granted him. And this treasure is Chava, his wife. And I was thinking, if only our husbands would wake up every morning with joy, with the great treasure that they have. And if only we would wake up every morning anticipating the great treasures that Hashem is going to give us in the day to come. So let's talk about what this means, this tardema that fell upon Adam. So the Midrash says that tardema has, there's three kinds. One is sleep. And also it's interesting that, I'll come back to this. The second one is prophecy. And the third type of sleep is unconsciousness. So let's talk for a minute about prophecy and sleep. So we know that dreams are 1/60th of prophecy. And every night when we go to sleep, many of us say Kriyat Shema, many of us say parts of Kriyat Shema Alamita, but whatever prayer that we're going to say before we go to sleep, it's really important to prepare for sleep. And also to ask for dreams to come to us when we go to sleep. One way of doing that is before we go to sleep, is to write down a question of what we want an answer for, and then ask Hashem to send us the answer in a dream. But I just want to say one more thing about sleeping in the Samech. So in Kriya Shema Lamita, there's many parts of it. It begins with we're asking Hashem that we want actually to grant forgiveness to anyone who has harmed us. And it's really interesting. It says in this lifetime and in past lifetimes. So the concept of letting go, of asking to forgive others. And I would also say, really, at night, before we go to sleep, to ask to forgive ourselves and ask Hashem to forgive us. And the Pri Tzaddik has a beautiful Torah of Samech is Somech Hashem l'chol hanoflim. Somech is Samach, Machim, and the Machim are the humble. And he said, this is a month when we surround ourselves with the Samech of light. It's the Ora Makif. And before we go to sleep at night, to make ourselves like the air within the Samech. So we're surrounded by light. Before we go to sleep, we're forgiving ourselves, we're forgetting other people, and we're emptying out. And if we look at some of the prayers of Kriyat Shema L'Mitah, a lot of them are for protection and for Hashem to be with us in our going to sleep and our waking. But there's one part of Kriyat Shema L'Mitah that is also said in Mariv, which is Hashkivenu Hashem Elokeinu L'Shalom. We ask Hashem to lie us down in peace and to wake us up to Chaim Tovim. And then it says, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, that Hashem should spread his sukkah of peace around us. And I often think of Hashem's sukkah of peace as being this samech, that we put ourselves into this Ora Makif before we go to sleep, as if we're in a sukkah of peace. And if you look in the Hashkivenu prayer of Shabbat, which we're going to say tonight, there's even another mention of that we want Hashem to surround us with his sukkah of peace. So probably one of my favorite Torahs, and many of you have heard me say this before, is the Baal Shem Tov says, we cannot pray properly until we first surround ourselves with light and that we feel the light. And so this is really a month of sleep and of dreams and of the way that we go to sleep, letting go and surrounding ourselves with Hashem's light and love. So I just want to read you something that in the name of Rabbi Yitzchak Ginsburg. He says, the letter Samech is shaped like a circle, representing Hashem's omnipresence and his hashgachat pratit. The great circle, representing Hashem's infinite light, is explained in Hasidut to reflect his right arm, which is embracing and supporting from beneath with great infinite love. And this is Hashem's rachamim, his mercy. And in Kislev, we're surrounded with Hashem's mercy. So I just want to end by saying, not only when we go to sleep do we want to feel like Hashem's right hand is beneath us and we surround ourselves with the circle of peace, but many times during the day we can stop. S is stop. T is take a deep breath. O, after we breathe, just letting go, emptying out. O is observe. Just take a moment and feel and imagine how Hashem's light is all around you and Hashem's mercy is all around you. And Rev Morgenstern says, this is really the true Amunah, where we really come to a place where Amunah turns into bitachon, which is trust that Hashem is truly iti imi v'eitzli, that Hashem is really at all times with me, with you, and every moment. So I want to bless us all that we have a mamash, a miraculous Kislev, and we feel how Hashem is with us and guiding our lives. And I just want to end with one thing that I just heard that somebody sent from Rav Anava. And he said like this, from Rosh Chodesh Kislev until the end of Hanukkah, which I'm just adding, like for many, the end of Hanukkah is the final Chatima, the Yamim Tovim. But anyway, from today to the end of Hanukkah, he says that if we don't complain for all these days from today till the end of Hanukkah, that we're going to see great miracles. So I want to bless you. I want to bless us all that we have mamash miraculous